And here we go on a beautiful Wednesday morning. It is time for your Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast. Realty expert Adam Helgeson is back. We'll talk to him right after this.
What would tomorrow look like if you sold your house today? Maybe you'd move to a new city or a new country. Maybe you'd pick up birding or birdies. You could get into wine, not that into wine, or skiing. Warmer skiing. Or maybe you'd spend more time doing nothing at all. When you're ready for whatever comes next, we'll be ready to help you get there. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services.
All right, and he is back. Realty expert Adam Helgeson. Been a long time. How you doing, man?
Doing good. I'm
Good.
I'm sure you enjoy the weeks in between, talking with the ladies.
Yeah, I do. It's a nice break. The nervousness has gotten out of a few of them now because a couple of them were actually fairly nervous. But yeah, it's been all right.
Yeah,
they seem to fit right in with the Berkshire Hathaway family. It seems to me. I was talking to a guy the other day from California that moved here, and I had asked him about winter. He hadn't had one yet. He goes, well, I visited during the winter. And we hear that all the time. They probably visited during one of those days where it was 35 or 40 above and sun and no wind and all of that. But what I want to know is when somebody, and especially you deal with a lot of military people that have never been to what I call the tundra before. But let's go through some things, if you will, about surviving and thriving in a Grand Forks winter, because I basically call this the tundra.
Yeah. The winter up here is just not your average grab a light jacket, and you'll be fine kind of season, even though that's usually just what I do. You'll see me in a lightweight, but in the beginning I'm like freezing, and then it's like, okay, this is acclimatized.
Get a remote starter and just suck it up.
Yeah, exactly. But the winters up here, it's not just a winter or an event. It's more of a lifestyle. It's something you have to adapt and survive in.
Yes.
And I do kind of make it sound worse than it is, but it's you have to know what you're doing, how to prepare, and we'll give you some real life examples on both warm breaks and brutally cold extremes.
Yeah, because people will talk about how cold it gets where they live at night. Yeah, you're not going to compete with us.
We're usually colder than Alaska.
Yeah, we are. We are. We usually are.
Yeah, typical highs, I did some research on this. Typical highs in January around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. With the lows dipping below zero. I mean, that's typical. But the biggest factor is it's so damn flat up here is we have a little thing called wind chill.
Oh, yes, and that's what will kill you.
Yes, when the wind blows across the flat River Valley, it cuts through you like a knife.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've been in 100 below zero before with the wind chill.
Yeah, a negative 10 degree Fahrenheit day with a 20 mile per hour wind makes it negative 35.
Yeah.
So back in 2019, Grand Forks hit negative 39 with wind chills recorded close to negative 60.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, in March, it was sunny and 35, which kind of feels like you're on vacation. There's probably
for sure
people in shorts out here barbecuing.
Yeah. That's normal.
I remember my neighbors moved up from Utah, and it was springtime, but it was sunny and nice. And then the weekend after they moved here, we got a blizzard. It just dumped on us.
Yeah.
And I'm out there in shorts and a sweatshirt shoveling, and they're bundled up like they're damn Antarctica. And I'm like, don't worry, you get used to it. And they love it up here now.
When I was young, I played hockey and raced snowmobiles and all that stuff. I couldn't wait for snow. I wanted more and more snow. But the cold part now is what bothers these old aching bones. The snow is okay, but how do you tell people how much snow we normally get? What do you tell them?
I had a client, we were driving around looking at houses, and they're like, what are those fiberglass things bolted to all the fire hydrants for? I'm like, that's so we can find them under the snow.
Yeah.
And they're like, what?
Yeah.
It gets that high? I'm like, it can. But the last few years, we've actually been kind of lucky.
We have been. Last 2 years have been really nice.
We've been getting the colder temps in spurts, but we haven't got the huge snowfall. It seems like it's going the North Dakota, South Dakota border, and South Dakota is getting slammed with the heavy snow. I kind of wish we got more snow.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I used to love snowmobiling. I actually sold mine last year because it's
no snow.
We haven't had any good snow. So
and then you talk about blizzards too. A lot of people don't realize, you go back in history, people died in blizzards trying to go from their house to their garage or from their house to their barn. Folks, if you've never been here to a blizzard, you can't see 10 feet out your door. In fact, we got socked in out by Gently there when I was a kid, 3-day blizzard, and we had to go out the back door because our front door you couldn't find it. Yep. It was buried up to the roof. So, and that's another thing. Try to explain that to people. Blizzards and icy sidewalks and streets. You can always tell, even people that were born and raised here and lived here their whole life, they forget to drive the first ice storm we get.
Forget to drive and forget to walk.
Yep.
Right? It's funny, too. You see people walk normal in the summer, and then in the winter, it's always the baby shuffle. Just
the like penguin shuffle.
Penguin yeah. But, Grand Forks averages about 50 inches of snow per year. But, those totals can swing widely. Mm-hmm. A single blizzard can dump a foot overnight, which you and I have both seen. I remember like the 97 blizzard.
Oh, man, yeah.
It was insane. But you have to be prepared. And if they say the interstate's closed, don't go around barriers because now you're jeopardizing other people's lives out there to save you. And
they could be saving somebody else that wasn't stupid.
Yeah. And the biggest thing, too, is like the freeze-thaw cycles. We will get up here where there's like an inch of ice over the street, before you hit pavement. So, and then when that starts to thaw, you'll have like potholes, but it's not potholes. It's just chunks of ice missing, and you actually hit the actual concrete. But yeah, just the sidewalks and driveways can be ice rinks. But on a homeowner standpoint, you don't like to use that rock salt on your driveway.
It chews up the concrete, eats it up.
It eats up the finish of the concrete and everything. So you just got to stay on top of it.
And that's what I try to do. I try to get it right away because as soon as you can I know guys had to let it go, it'll melt in a week or two. You get the sun on the concrete, it'll melt it a lot quicker. And another thing, I've lived all over, as you have. I've lived in California, and I've been around, but houses are built completely different there. You don't have to worry about preparing your home for winter, but there are things you have to talk to these people about what homeowners should do before winter, why furnace maintenance is so important, and what gear should households have, your snowblower, your plows, your shovels. All of that stuff. You got to explain that to them, too.
Yeah, well, too, and getting prepped for winter, you want to check the grading of your house to make sure it hasn't settled, so the snow melt runs away from your foundation. Otherwise, in the spring, snow melt can run into your foundation. Go check your windows, the caulking, the door seals, that type of stuff. Attic insulation is always huge because you get those freeze and thaw cycles. You can get ice dams if you have too much heat escaping because it melts the snow under on the shingles. Then it freezes and builds up ice and the water intrudes. So, there's different things you have to look at getting prepped. But, yeah, shovels, snow blowers, that type of stuff are definitely key.
And your furnace is never going to fail on you when it's 80 degrees and sunny out or even 60 degrees and you're barely running the furnace. It's going to be 30 below and it's going to fail.
Do you know what a lot of that's from?
Lack of maintenance, lack of keeping up,
not changing your damn filter.
Filter is a huge thing. It says change it once a month. I don't, but
I'm like every 2 months.
That's about me too.
My dumbass, I forgot to change it this summer.
Oh,
and all of a sudden my AC unit went out. I blew the circuit.
Plugged up.
My filter was dirty, and it was drawing too much power to pull, and it blew the circuit. I'm like. That would have been an easy fit. You know what I mean? If I would have just changed the damn filter, it would have saved me a service
$10 filter, whatever. We talk about prepping your home, prepping your vehicles the same way. It's funny. I moved out to California, I believe it was 1986, and at that time I was driving a Plymouth TC3 Horizon hatchback.
Ooh,
and
nice.
had they thought we had come from that we lived in igloos, that we didn't have electricity or anything until they saw my car and was wondering what that plug was hanging out of the front end.
Yeah.
And I said, what? You mean you guys don't even have electric cars yet? And they were freaking out. Had no idea what a block heater was, but when you prep your car, there's things you want to do to get it winter ready. The block heaters are one of them. Winter emergency kits, talk a little bit about those.
Yeah. Cold weather batteries are good. Make sure you have a good solid battery. It takes a little bit more to crank over that car when the oil's cold, that type of stuff. That's where the block heaters come in. By the way, block heaters, if you plug in your car, that's not charging it.
No.
Okay. I had a coworker.
It's not an electric car.
I had a coworker from the South who said he couldn't go to work because his battery was dead, right? I'm like, okay. He's like, okay, I got a charger on it, right? Charged it. Like 2 hours later, I'm like, dude, where you at? He's like, still nothing. I'm like, what? So I go over there, and here he plugged in the block heater. He's like, it's not charging. I'm like, all that does is warm up your oil pan. That doesn't charge your battery.
It does help start the car, but
it does, yes. But so a block heater is nice. These newer cars aren't. I don't know. They seem to start better than the older ones.
Yeah.
Right. So block heaters, but definitely a set of jumper cables, some blankets, granola bars, flashlight,
candles.
If you can get some of those MREs, the meals ready to eat, those are nice because all you need for a warm meal is some water.
Yeah.
Well, you can get some snow and melt it in that heater packet.
Yep.
And you get some warmth from the heater. You get some warm food in you that can really...
And if you're stranded in a car, it's amazing how a candle can keep you warm enough to survive.
Yep.
When it comes to clothing, too, you talked earlier in the beginning of the show, wind chill. A lot of people don't know what wind chill is. I try to explain to people that have never been here that it gets so cold you can spit and it bounces off the snow before it hits the ground because it freezes. But some of these wind chills, like you were talking about, literally only takes a minute or 3 to freeze the human skin.
Yeah. If you have, like I was talking about that -60, your eyes can freeze shut when you blink.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's insane. So proper clothing, good jacket. You always want to dress in layers, right? Those layers help. So
for sure. Yeah.
You don't need a giant, big, poofy jacket. But
no, you don't have to be like on Christmas Story.
Yeah, that guy. But if you dress in layers, that's going to help. Sweatshirt, then a jacket, gloves, hat.
I'm one of those guys. I would rather be too warm than too cold.
Yeah.
But I have frostbitten my eyelids before.
Nice.
And that sucks.
I bet.
That is not fun at all. And, a lot of people say, well, there's nothing you can do when it's this cold out. There are still activities to do.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, I didn't care if it was 40 below. I was out in the outdoor rink.
Yeah.
But now they've got indoor everything around here. And there's still there's places to walk. There's things to do. The cross-country skiing, the skating, the snowmobiling. There's still lots of things to do. You just got to dress for it.
They do the cross-country skis down Lincoln Park. You can rent them, and they got the trail down the Greenway.
Yep.
There's, right at the entrance to Lincoln Park, there's those hills. All the kids are sledding and stuff there. Snowmobiling, ice fishing. I mean, there's so much you can do in the winter. Taught my daughters how to downhill ski a couple years ago, and now they're obsessed. They love going skiing. So even if it's cold, get some nice ski goggles and a face mask.
Yeah. Winters here, it can be so weird because there has been Halloweens where we've had 4 or 5 feet of snow on the ground in my lifetime.
Yep.
There has been deer hunting second week in November where it was 85 degrees. You still had to worry about ticks. We do get, like right now, we're going to be in the high mid-80s today.
Yeah.
And, and then there are days, though, that we get warm spells in the middle of winter. There's been times where we haven't hardly had an inch of snow on the ground in Christmas. And there's been times, where we can still get a major snowstorm in April. It's just Mother Nature. You can't beat her.
My birthday's in beginning of May, and we've got snow on my birthday before. And I remember one year, Christmas, it was sunny and 60 with no snow, and we were playing flag football out on the farm on Christmas Day. There's all sorts of extremes, but that's what I love about this place.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get those changes. When I was in Hawaii,
the same thing every day.
You want the easiest job in the world is to be a weatherman in Hawaii.
Yeah, right.
We'll be sunny and 78 to 84, light sprinkle around 1 o'clock, ocean breeze. That's pretty much every day.
Yeah.
Where up here, you actually have the changing of the seasons, different things to do. Like, I am stoked, looking forward to deer hunting as soon as the fall chill comes in the air.
As soon as the beets are out of the fields.
Yeah. As soon as that fall chill comes, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
This is my season.
You can kind of smell it in the air.
You
I
can,
love
actually.
that. Yep. Now, Adam, if you're going to talk to somebody and they're maybe going to move here because you talk to a lot of, again, going back to the military, but what do you think is the single most important piece of advice for somebody facing their very first Grand Forks winter?
Just be prepared. Get proper clothing, I'd say, proper nice warm boots, jackets. Those underlayers are huge, and vehicle prep. You can't have studded tires, but proper tires are big. The snow on the concrete creates a layer. So you want deep grooves on your tires to help get that snow out so you get better traction.
Yeah.
So if you're driving around on slicks, it is going to be you're going nowhere this winter. Also pick a vehicle with ground clearance.
Yeah, that's the huge one.
Yeah, if you're one of those guys that likes your car an inch off the ground, you probably don't want to bring it up here in the winter.
And the thing is, too, you've got the old Farmer's Almanac and all of that, and you can all he and ha and predict what the winter's going to be like. Oh, it's going to be a rough winter. It's going to be a warm winter. You just never know up here. And that's kind of the fun of it. Somebody says you don't want a coat that doesn't let the sweat out. Ski jackets might not be so good for normal wear or whatever, but do a little bit of research if you're not sure. And again, I think, it's winter is winter.
Yeah. You'll learn, and it's I actually love it.
Yeah, so. It's not a reason to not come here for most people.
Oh, exactly.
If somebody wants to find out more about our winters or anything that has to do with the realty world, this is all part of it. If you want to move here, how do we get a hold of realty expert Adam Helgeson?
The best way is my cell phone, which is 701-317-1750. You can check out my website, homesbyhelgeson.com, or call any of us real estate experts at Berkshire Hathaway at 701-746-0303.
All right. That is awesome, man. It's good to see you again.
Yes.
It's been a while. We'll see you again in a couple of days.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. There you go. That is your Wednesday edition of your Berkshire Hathaway bi-weekly podcast with realty expert Adam Helgeson. We'll be back with Adam again on Friday morning at 10. Till then, have yourself a great couple of days, everybody.